Why am I under my duvet with a microphone? And no, it's not just because I want to make influencer content about making a den, but you might notice that the sound is quite good under here. Right, jokes aside, the reason I thought I'd show you that is because hopefully it shows that the life of a foreign correspondent is not as glamorous as it often looks. In fact, a lot of the time when I'm not out gathering interviews or filming or recording things for radio or TV or online articles or social media videos, I am doing stuff that looks quite a lot like this. This is my current radio package that I'm editing on the Colombia elections. I'll tell you more about that in a moment. But when I don't do links on location, i.e. the little bits of radio packages that you hear where it's my voice, not an interviewee's voice, we don't have access to studios when we're traveling. So actually sometimes the best method is to literally just put yourself under a duvet. I've tried different ways of doing this at times. Sometimes it's 2 pillows, sometimes it's under a whole duvet. Once I did it in a tent, which kind of worked. But I still feel like the gold standard where possible in radio is to do all your links on location, but sometimes that's not possible. Like for example, this one, which I did at one of the World Cup games in Colombia when they played Uzbekistan.
I'm at a huge fan zone in Bogota for Colombia's first World Cup game against Uzbekistan. Hello. And the atmosphere here is electric.
Anyway, all of this is to say, listen out on Sunday for my radio package across BBC News and the BBC World Service. It is about Colombia's election, and I've interviewed some really interesting people in the course of being here, including many people who have been victims of displacement as a result of Colombia's bitter internal conflict that has surged again in recent years. Some really harrowing stories in there of people affected by that violence, whose relatives have been killed, who have had to travel thousands of miles from their homes, leave everything behind. That's why violence and insecurity is such a big theme at this election. Also had a bit of fun interviewing people at the fan zone for one of Colombia's World Cup games. Lots of people very, very passionate there about the football, but also about the election too, thinking that is the more important contest this week. And finally, I interviewed some people from the coast of Colombia as well, which is where the right-wing candidate Abelardo de la Espriella is from, and he enjoys quite a lot of support there, while the left-wing candidate Ivan Cepeda is currently leading among younger voters. So look out for that on Sunday. I'll be covering the election in Barranquilla on the north coast on Sunday night into Monday as well. So hopefully you'll be able to hear my content there.